U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel got up close and personal with a real-life Terminator robot built for the Department of Defense called Atlas, funded largely through DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. And if you think Atlas looks an awful lot like the Terminator robot in the popular Arnold Schwarzenegger film series, you've just been watching too many movies. This is a humanitarian robot that's designed to, quote, rescue victims trapped by natural disasters. Yeah, that's why the head of the Department of Defense is being shown a demonstration, as opposed to, say, showing it off to somebody over at the Red Cross. At the very bottom of this article, published in the South China Morning Post, it reveals that after the initial demonstration, the press was ushered out of the room so that Secretary Chuck Hagel, head of the Department of Defense, could be shown some classified related features. Oh, what could those be? The fact that they're going to turn it into a real-life Terminator psychotic mass-murdering robot for the military? Meanwhile, President Barack Bilderberg Obama bowed down to his new robotic master, Osimo, the Japanese humanoid robot. And the rise of the robots is becoming a real, reasonable threat. Something I wrote about 10 years ago, in depth, in an entire chapter in my book, The Resistance Manifesto, where I was ridiculed and said that I watched too many science fiction movies. How ironic is it that Google's operating system, called Android, would later be put to use in physical Android bodies after Google bought Boston Dynamics, the creator of the Atlas robot manufacturer? Perhaps you have seen exoskeletons in science fiction movies like Elysium or G.I. Joe, but the exoskeleton robots are a reality as well. A Japanese company has created one called HAL, the same name as the psychotic robot in 2001 A Space Odyssey, that turns and starts killing the humans for getting in the way of its mission. Yes, the next step is to literally wire the internet and the neural interface and become a cyborg yourself, just like in the Terminator film series or Transcendence, a popular theme now in science fiction movies. And Oculus Rift is basically just one step away from it. The rise of the Terminator robots appears to be near, and while many people think that this is just science fiction, just a generation ago, if you were to tell your parents, or your grandparents especially, that you would be able to have a pocket computer, that you would be able to watch virtually any movie, television show, have real-time, face-to-face, FaceTime interactions with somebody around the world, while wirelessly standing in the middle of a field in the middle of nowhere, they would have thought that that too was science fiction. So we are on the verge of the rollout of the rise of the robots. Great funding for our tax dollars, as opposed to perhaps helping the poor, repairing the roads, educating the children, fixing the schools. Let's forget about that. Let's spend billions of dollars on a real-life Terminator robot program. Actually, as I reported 10 years ago in the Resistance Manifesto, at the time, the biggest defense contract was awarded to create a robotic army, largely the Talon robots, sort of the Johnny Five-looking radio-controlled robotic murderous machines that have then morphed into the drone program as well. The drones need to be stopped. If it's not bad enough having these things flying around radio-controlled murdering people, it appears they're going to be just guarding your children. We'll just have a radio-controlled, autonomic android guarding the schools. I'm sure nothing will ever go wrong. I'm sure that your computer never crashes. I'm sure that your car never breaks down. Let's create an army of autonomous, artificially intelligent Terminator robots. I can't possibly see how anything would go wrong there. I urge you to check out the chapter in the Resistance Manifesto about real-life Terminator robots. Again, something that I published almost 10 years ago that I was ridiculed for. But it is, again, shown to be quite prophetic, completely accurate. So check that out. Not available in stores, only in paperback on Amazon.com or any e-reading device. We must denounce the rise of the robots. We must have legislation put in place to stop the artificial intelligence programs before they rise to the singularity event and virtually destroy humanity. Again, something that the mentally enslaved mainstream media watching morons think is just straight out of science fiction films, but we appear to be rapidly approaching a disaster never before seen in human history. So thanks again for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Check out my books in paperback on Amazon.com or any e-reading device. Hit me up on Facebook and Twitter, and stay tuned because there's more videos coming soon.